Should you use a form letter to challenge debt or credit reporting? My name is Michael Wasylik. I am one of the lawyers at Ricardo and Wasylik here in Florida, and together with my partner Jason Ricardo, I help people just like you overcome foreclosure and debt collection with dignity. And today I'm going to answer a common question I get, which is, can I use a form letter or a template that I find online to challenge something that shows up on my credit report, or challenge something that I've got on a debt collection letter or a phone call? Can I use a template? Do you have a form I can use? And the answer is it's going to depend, and let me explain why. You are going to be using letters to respond to debt collectors in a variety of contexts. So you may have a situation where you've got something on your credit report that you believe is inaccurate, obsolete, or otherwise unverifiable, and you want to challenge that debt because that negative reporting because it's holding you back from what you want to do. You may have a debt collector sending you letters or making phone calls, and they've notified you that that you have a right to dispute the debt and request validation, and you want to use a letter to go ahead and do that. And so you want to use a template because maybe you've never written one of these before. You don't know what needs to be in it. You don't know what that letter needs to say in order to maximize the odds, in order to get the maximum possible chance of achieving the result you want, which is usually going to be stopping the debt collection or removing the item from your credit report, or if there's some other context, you may have some other goal. So what you're asking for is some kind of form letter. Someone else has done all the hard work of figuring out what goes into that letter in order for you to use that because you want the best tool for the job. Here's why templates are usually a bad idea. Form letters are usually a bad idea. So anything you find online, anything you find that is listed as a silver bullet form letter that you can use to accomplish, removing something from your credit report or disputing a debt with a debt collector, understand that if those things are found online, or somebody is selling packets of letters, or a lawyer promises to give you a form letter because that's what they use, understand that the debt collectors and the collection agencies have seen those letters before, because if they're online and they are accessible to the public, or someone's selling them in large volumes, that means hundreds, if not thousands, of people have used that exact same form letter. Now, when credit reporting agencies receive these form letters, when debt collectors receive these form letters, they know exactly what you did. They know you went online, found a form letter, filled it out, and sent it in, or you bought it from someone, or you got a copy of some other person's form letter. They know that you took a shortcut, because that's what a template is. A form letter is. It's a shortcut. They know you took a shortcut, and they will immediately put you in a classification of someone who is not serious and not a threat. Because form letters and template letters, they know that those people are not, you may be serious, but you are essentially taking a shortcut rather than attacking the problem with a customized letter that deals specifically with your situation. So the first problem with form letters is the debt collector, the credit reporting agencies, won't take your dispute seriously. They'll consider you as not a threat. Now, the second reason that form letters and template letters don't work is many of them are simply wrong. You'll find online a lot of these form letters that rely on legal theories that are crazy or inaccurate, or just have been disproven time and time again. So, for example, an example of an inaccurate form letter would be, you might search around for something called a 609 letter, right? Now, a 609 letter is just shortcut for a particular portion of the Fair Credit Reporting Act. 609 just means that they have to delete inaccurate information. But people are selling these letters, or they're making them available online, and they don't actually contain the information that you're going to need. Just the fact that it mentions the word 609, it mentions a law. is, in your mind, it's a way to scare the other side into thinking that you're smart enough to know that what your legal rights are. The reality is exposes exactly the opposite. They know that you've just gone to do this online because you are not correctly asserting what the law says. They know you don't actually know the law because you're not correctly stating it, because these form letters are not necessarily accurate or complete or match your circumstances. If you use the wrong law for the wrong set of circumstances, the debt collectors, the credit reporting agencies, they know that you don't know what you're doing, and therefore, again, they will put you in the bucket of this person is not a threat. And so because a template letter, a form letter, is not customized for the specific circumstances of your situation, it's not going to be helpful. And so the third thing about these form letters is, again, because they are cookie cutter, they are inaccurate, they don't actually provide the information to the other side that is needed to establish that there's some kind of right that you have that's been violated, because the person drafting the form letter didn't do it with your needs in mind. And if you are not up to speed on what you need to say, if you don't have that background in this particular area, and so you don't recognize that that form letter is a mismatch for your circumstances, you're again going to state something inaccurate. You're going to demonstrate to the debt collector, to the credit reporting agency, that you are not a threat. So it's very important that every letter you use to dispute a debt, to request validation, to challenge an inaccurate, obsolete, or other unverifiable item on your credit report must be customized both to the facts of your case and also invoke the correct legal rights that you have. It's very important to remember that there are different legal rights that attach to different types of debt collection. If you're getting letters from a debt collector, you have a certain set of legal rights over here. If you have information on your credit report that is inaccurate or obsolete or unverifiable, you have a certain set of rights that is set forth in a separate law. And if you are being sued in court, you have a different set of rights that's completely different from all three. Now, all three of those things may be happening to you at once, but each set of circumstances has a separate set of rights. And if you mix and match from the wrong bucket, you're again showing the other side that you're not to be taken seriously. You're not a legal threat because you don't know how to articulate that. Now, how do you solve that problem? Well, first of all, it is very important to educate yourself about what rights attach to what situations, what rights attach to what factual patterns. Watch the other videos on this channel for examples of that. I talk a lot about the three different types of debt collection communications. We're talking about letters and phone calls. We talk about credit reporting, and then we also talk about what happens if you get taken to court. Understand the different legal rights that attach to each of those three sets of circumstances. I call them the three buckets of debt collection. Number two, be able to cleanly and simply articulate the facts that give rise to your request. For example, if you have received a debt collection letter and they say you have a right to send in a dispute and request validation, then you need to understand what those legal rights are by hopefully educating yourself with our videos and other videos and other sources of information. So you need to understand what those legal rights are. And then if there is a dispute about your debt, you need to understand what facts, simply and plainly stated, will help you assert that dispute. Or if you're simply requesting a validation, you can request that, but you also need to understand what is a validation. And then if you are challenging an inaccuracy on your credit report, you need to very simply and plainly state what they have stated, why it is inaccurate, and that you are requesting they investigate or remove the offending item. So for example, you might say, you have stated the balance is $1,000. That balance is not correct because I paid it off. Therefore, it's inaccurate and you need to remove it. That's a very simple, plain statement of what you need to do. So the better course of action, rather than a form letter or a template letter that you find online, is to understand what your rights are by educating yourself. Watch the other videos on this channel, for example. The second step is draft a letter that simply and plainly states the facts as they relate to your case. And knowing what those legal rights are you can add those, again, briefly. You don't need to go on at length. And then third is just send that off. I always recommend certified mail return receipt, but you want to have a custom letter that is customized to the unique facts and circumstances of your case, because otherwise you will not get the response you're looking for, because they will classify you as not a threat. And that's exactly the last place you want to be if you're challenging a debt collection, if you're challenging an inaccurate item on your credit report. You want them to be afraid of you. You want them to know that you know your legal rights, that you know why you have a right to recover from them if they don't do what they're supposed to do under the law. You want them to respect you and treat you as a threat if they don't do the right thing. So I hope this video has been helpful for you. If it has, go ahead and leave a like, comment, tell me about your debt collection situations. Have you had a form letter that's blown up in your face or gone wrong? Tell me about that in the comment section. We do our best to answer all the comments. If you want more of this, subscribe to the channel, watch the other videos on the channel. Again, educate yourself, know what your legal rights are. And if you have any questions, drop them in the comments. We'll do our best to answer them. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.